All right, man. I don't think I've ever gone live on YouTube, but why not? So I am working on a diet right now. So one of the things that I am doing at this moment is uh, basically adding the details that we need to add at the at the end of this style. So what I'm gonna try to do is share with you guys kind of the thought process as I go through um, this last section. So one of the things I'm working on is this little guy here. So this basically I'm using this as an electricity kind of box, the thing that you see at the end of the piping on the walls. Basically this package comes from, so I usually buy these exacto. I think I don't know, it's like 16 blades for like $4 or something like that. So usually whenever I get this, so this was basically packaged in here, as you can see kind of by the angle or whatever, the shape of it. So I usually save a lot of these because later on you can use them. And what I did with this one is it was clear. I kind of sanded it down a little bit, and then I used this guy here, which is usually what I use is the hammered kind of Rust-Oleum spray paint, and it kind of gives it an effect that it's just not a flat aluminum or flat silver. So it gives you, um, it gives you kind of the look that you would want for that. So what I'm gonna do is I want to make this kind of pop, make it look a little more realistic as it would look in an alleyway. So besides painting it and kind of giving it that look, that worn look, which is kind of the last step. One of the things I need to do now is just add some of the what you call it, the hardware. So I have a couple things, different things I'm going to use for different reasons. So what I want to do is I want to make it seem like this is bolted into the wall by the four corners. So what I'm going to use is these little nails right here, and all I need is like four of them. They're kind of tiny, but I like the head at the end of the nail, as it's kind of gives you that kind of the look that I'm looking for this particular dial. So we're gonna hit up pretty much all four corners. These nails are pretty sharp as it is, so I'm basically just using my finger. I think it should work. Usually it just kind of pops right in. So what I'm doing is, the reason I'm kind of laying it on this is because this is gonna go directly on the foam. So once it's through, and I stick it into the foam, it's not gonna be any issue in terms of getting right to where I want to put it on the wall. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go around and basically, guys, I'm just gonna stay live for a while, maybe an hour, half an hour, 40. I don't know, man, just until I guess I finish this, which shouldn't be too long. So in this case, as you saw here, I kind of scratched it. I don't know if you can see. I kind of scratched a little bit with the nail, which is not a look I want. But the good thing is that these little things rust, so we can kind of put some effects there. So as Bob Ross says, they're only happy accidents. So I got this guy, and I just need one more corner, and we're good to go. And then, these come in a lot of different styles. One of the things I've said before to anyone who's been following me, maybe people forget, and that's all good. But I'm a graffiti artist, so as a graffiti artist, one of the things that I was used to doing throughout my, I guess, teens and late teens, and even into my 20s, was kind of going into, or whenever I walked around the city, always going through alleyways, mostly just to kind of tag my name. So I was always tagging on different electricity boxes and what have you, alleyway doors. So a lot of, it did give me, luckily, some kind of inside, or kind of that research, that real life research, which is basically just saying, yo, listen, everything can, you can pretty much, as long as it looks close enough to it, there can be any style of any, for the most part, these type of electricity boxes. So what I want to do here, I just want to kind of give it the look of these four kind of holding it to the wall. Um, and this guy, and if you guys are making comments and I'm not answering it back, is because the camera's kind of angled off in a way where I really can't read the screen. Let me see, I shifted my body a little bit. Let's see what happens. So anyway, got these eight pieces of hardware in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it to the wall. And then one of the things that happened is, if you guys can see here, like the top of this is like at an angle, so it's not super flat. So the piping that is on top of here doesn't sit flush with it. So what I need to do is, I marked it up. If you guys can see kind of those two blots, I marked it up to where I need to cut it so that I can kind of snuggle it, if that's even such a, so I can kind of snug it into the bottom of that pipe. And I'll show that in a second. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a blade, an X-Acto blade, and just kind of cut what I think, hopefully, is gonna be. Let me move the slide over here so I can kind of get a little more light. So basically, I don't want to bring the wall down, or bring the wall down yet, but what I can do is I can actually grab a piece here, and it's gonna actually help me guide. So the let me see. Let me see if I got. All right, I don't really, yo, you know, I got one right here. Rot her. So what I'm gonna do is cut this. So this is a piece of do-it-yourself straw. Basically, I've used this before. I've shown you guys. It looks, the packaging can look different. There's different companies, whatever. But pretty much this is what I use for a lot of the piping that I use for alleyways and outdoor type of dials that most of them will have some sort of electricity piping on the outside. So anyway, I'm cutting this piece because the piece that needs to fit into here is basically the size of this. So I kind of already did the measurements, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of cut into it very carefully, because if I do it too much, you're gonna see it, and then it's not gonna look as good as it could look. So I want to be careful, as I want the piping to hide the fact that I had to cut into this. So the piping needs to kind of sit flush up here. It's angled off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slice a line right there, and now that piece kind of, I don't know, flips down a little bit. So when I'm able to kind of put it allows a little bit of movement down here. And then what I'm gonna do is the back of the piece, I'm gonna basically take off that whole piece and just let it kind of sit in there. So same deal where you're just cutting. I'm just kind of going deep into this material, this installation foam board, as it allows me to not have to do the up and down knife movement, which can derail that straight line, and instead it allows me to kind of go all the way through. So that piece I can take out. So by taking out this little piece, I hope, let's see. Let me see. It allows it to kind of fall into place. Yeah, and it should allow me to kind of sit it flush. And that's how it looks from the back. The piece of tape I have in there is just because it's what I use when I went to paint it. I just put on a glove and kind of put my finger in there and just spray painted it, as the sticky stuff is kind of on my finger. Let me see. Alright, so I think that should work. You know what? I almost feel like I want to. This is what I'm gonna do, just to be on the safe side. I'm just gonna kind of slice. I'm trying to get everything. I'm just gonna slice this a little bit here, and a little bit there as well. So this will kind of can flex down a little bit. So let's see if it'll connect there, or if it's gonna work out the way I kind of envision it. Part of anytime you're creating dials, by the way, guys, one of the reasons I don't go live all the time is because it's just really mundane, I guess. It's a lot of cleaning up as you go along, or if not, your workstation gets a little too crazy and you start losing shit. And I'm not trying to be about that life. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the back wall of what I am currently working on, or where this piece is gonna go. So I want this piece to pretty much kind of tuck in under here. So I have to kind of flex this pipe up a little bit. I'm gonna bring these guys back up, and just so I can slide that piece in there, and also kind of bring these up as well. So I'm gonna glue this. I'm gonna kind of set it under there, and hopefully this falls right into place. And I hope the lighting is good. And you guys, again, the phone is kind of at a weird angle where I can't really see comments and shit. So my apologies. I tried to put the camera in front of me, but I just felt like it was gonna kind of be in the way. Anyway, let's see. Let's switch the light over here so there's not much shadow, because that's the place I'm gonna be working on. So I already have my hot glue gun going, and I see it's running out of glue, so I'm gonna stick another cartridge in there. One of the things I've been doing lately is I've been trying to just use a little bit of tacky glue to kind of, well, tacky glue is the way to go, right? Because once this dries, it's permanent, I guess, in terms of these projects. But I can use this and just kind of let it sit, which would be fine. But I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue gun just to kind of set it into place. So what we're going to do is, at this point, one of the things I don't want to do is I don't want that much glue to, or I don't want any glue to kind of stick on the outside to kind of, because then I have to do some cleanup. So I'm just going to try to do close to the rim here, so that when I put it on the wall, it doesn't start leaking on the side. So we got some sticky, tacky glue up in here, and then I'm just going to do a couple dabs of the hot glue. We're just going to do like, I don't know, I'll probably do 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Let's see. Come on out. Wait, there we go. Cool. Dab. Over here. And over there. And away we go. Oh, excuse me. So we're just going to kind of stick it right underneath the pipe here real quick. And then what I want to do is line it up with the brick, make sure it is straight. Make sure these nails are kind of tucked in so it doesn't kind of flip to the side. That one didn't work out, but we'll go back to that one. And so it looks like it's straight up here, so that was my biggest thing. That worked out. Just gotta get this one out. And the good thing about these little nails, man, is that they're made for wood, man. So they're just really sharp. So this one looks like it got kind of stuck a little bit in the hot glue, and then we just kind of go back and use the same hole, and we just stab it at a better angle, and it goes no problem. We got these guys in. We can come back with these little guys and put them right in this spot. Alright, cool. And then we just can flex these down. They'll also kind of stick into the foam. And again, it's kind of gotten to the point where I use, you kind of start getting used to just using your nails and your fingers and what have you to kind of place things into place. I mean, it's foam for the most part. It's not, if it was wood, then obviously I'd kind of use something else. So there is some space here. So what I'm going to do at some point is I am going to kind of flex it up a little bit and put some glue, and I will have to do some cleanup. But any way you look at it, it's kind of, the way the plastic is, it's kind of warped a little bit. So I'll just have to put some glue and then kind of hold it down for a few seconds, and it should be good to go. And at this point, what I'm going to do, because what am I, 13 minutes in? Yeah, we can do a little bit of painting. So let me grab some browns. And they should be within reach. Let me see. And we're gonna do. I'm kind of always looking for a good. Well, I'm always trying to improve upon my rust. My skills at creating rust. So what I'm gonna do is bring a couple different paints. I've been using this Canyon Orange for kind of the. Sorry. Canyon Orange by Americana, where we make colors for America. And I usually use my studio as well. This is Nicole's. Nicole's is my studio. It's the same shit. They just changed names, I assume. But yeah, let's do a little bit of rust and see what that will look like. One of the things I also need to do is some graffiti, so I can probably do some of that while you guys are here. I just need to find a brush that's really kind of thin, Looks like we got a winner. We're gonna go with this little guy right here. And for the most part, I don't need to pour these paints out because I'm using such a minimal amount. I can just work right off of the cap. So here we have chestnut, which is, you know what? Let's go with brown first. I'm gonna go with brown first, and then we can see how different it looks from chestnut. Same deal. So I'm just kind of gonna go in there real quick. Kind of gonna. I literally just said that. Alright. So then what you want is, and a lot of times you don't want to put like heavy duty paint because you know it's more difficult to kind of clean it up. So you know, take some of the paint off. You can use whatever. I usually will grab a piece of paper. I have this little foam piece here I've been using, so I can actually use that because the way the texture is, it'll allow me to kind of let me get that off my finger. It'll allow me to get the amount of paint that I want. So a lot of it is, you know, just, I don't know, man. It's just imagining how after a long time, how the drips are gonna come off of screws and what have you. And this is not just for these boxes, but like you also want it for like the floor, because for example, this here will drip straight down. So why not put some rust at the bottom that kind of give it a more realistic look. You know, this is where I kind of made that error where I had that little scratch there, so kind of cover that up a little bit. A lot of times what you can do with this as well, you just kind of put you can put brown in some water and can, you know, make it watery. The reason I'm not doing it too watery on this is because this is already kind of a slick surface, so I don't want it to not dry fully, or not dry the way I have it kind of in my head how I want it to dry. I don't know if that makes sense. So we'll do a little bit of that. Do a little bit of kind of get every piece of hardware and, you know, get that going. And then part of it too is with anything in terms of metal, it's gonna rust in certain spots. So, you know, maybe a little bit of the corners, kind of give it that kind of that rusty type look. Then it's a good idea because of the fact that this is kind of such a slick surface. You can go with the acrylic sealer, the spray, and spray it down before you ship it, so that like a little scratch is not gonna take out the, you know, kind of take out the paint or whatever. So, alright, man. So yeah, so what I'm doing now is just kind of putting this brown color that I'm using for rust, and just kind of trying to make it look as realistic as possible. You know, generally, ultimately, a lot of the work that goes into these dials falls into the background, so you don't really see it. But the photographer, and you know, this is a commission, so this is being shipped out to someone. So the photographer could very well do shots where, you know, action figures are a little closer to the wall. So because of that, I always try my best to paint in a way where I make it as perfect as possible, I guess. I mean, there's no such thing as perfect, but as best as I can, and kind of go with that. So again, just kind of taking into consideration that this isn't an exact science in terms of where you're painting. I'm just kind of going along, and one of the things I do is that if I see, for example, over here, there's like a fingerprint, my fingerprint, because the spray paint didn't dry fully. So one of the things I do is I'll just go with, you know, go and paint those areas. So I kind of cover those mistakes a little bit. Some of the green was showing up from the plastic underneath. So, you know, kind of cover that up with the brown, you know, and just, again, just using your imagination and kind of picturing this thing just going through, you know, a lot of these. I'm from the East Coast, and we have winters, man. The winters get ugly here. So we have 4 seasons here. So one of the things that I, you know, we a lot of the buildings or whatever structures are up, they get beat, man. They get summertime heat. They get, you know, wintertime snow and all that shit. So it's, you know, kind of cool to live in the Northeast because you get to experience that. Where, they always say that it's awesome when you live like in Florida or California and you're a car collector or a car enthusiast because you don't get winter, so your car is gonna look good much longer than if you have a car here in the Northeast. All right, so we can't really see too well, but on that side, but it looks like we did okay. Let me put a little bit here. You gotta kind of let that dry a little bit. So again, the idea here is that we're just creating some rust. And once again, if you guys are leaving comments and I am not answering, it is because I should have set this up a lot better. So you know what? I'm gonna look. Let me see. It looks okay. Let's see here. Now I have the camera and now I can see it. So if you guys type any comments, I can kind of see it. And I'm sorry, it's just kind of a wobbly setup and I'm just trying my very best. All right, let's see here. Maybe I can. All right, so now you get to kind of see. All right, so if you guys have any comments or anything, I can communicate with you now. I am looking at the screen, and I'm going to try my best to continue painting while I answer any comments you may have. So once again, this is a commission for a gentleman who actually got another piece from me a few months ago and was like, yo, and actually he's local. He's actually not too far from me. I live in Boston. He lives in Lowell. Which is maybe a, I don't know, half hour, 40-minute drive. It's not too far. And he hit me up and was like, what are those tattoos on your hand? I'll show you in a second. So he hit me up. Thank you, Knight. He hit me up and was like, listen, I want kind of another dial that can connect to this dial you just created for me. And he, I was like, cool, perfect. So this is that dial. This is the other dial that's gonna. So this is the first time I've done this where I'm kind of creating a dial or create a dial, sent it off, and now I'm trying to recreate the same dial. Thank you, William. And in recreating the same, the same flow of paint and so forth. So it's not the easiest thing in the world. I'm a little nervous, but I got this. All right, so somebody asked about my hand. Man, I don't even know if I'll be able to show it now. So I have a couple different tattoos. So as you can see, one's an X-Acto blade. I'll run it across the screen. One's a spray cap in terms of the graffiti writer, and one's a pencil. One's a paintbrush, and then the King of Hearts because I don't know, I'm not the King of Hearts, but I like that tattoo. By the way, it hurt very much. All right, we are to the point where this brown seems like to have dried for the most part. Let me put a little bit over here. See, I see like a little fingerprint. This week in dioramas, you know what? I'm gonna be real with you, Roberto. I suck at I suck at YouTube rather. There's like two, maybe three people I watch on YouTube. One of them is my homeboy Bug, because I love his channel. The other one is Emergency Awesome, because he kind of be breaking down movies and deleted scenes and Easter scenes, and I like his flow in terms of filling me in on that. And the other guy, thank you, I appreciate it. Let me tell you what I mean by I suck. And then the other person I watch on YouTube, I like poker. I like No Limit Poker, so I watch poker videos. So I know about the show. I think I was on an episode, or one of my dads was on an episode, and I never followed through in terms of cartoony graph. I never followed through in terms of watching. So I do need to catch up. But the show that I did watch, it was kind of cool. And I love anytime you're gonna shed some light on the dial world, and I'm all for it. So I'm gonna go switch to that orange, that little kind of orangey type feel, and let me see how this is gonna look. So okay, cool, word. So I like the fact, can you pull off that true poker face? No, I don't think I could. And somebody else, oh man, there was a question that somebody just asked. Cartoony graph. I don't know, man. I just kind of have one style. I don't know if I have kind of cartoony graph. I don't know if I describe my graph as that. My graph is more like East Coast, kind of traditional East Coast graffiti. But yeah, and I have to put graffiti on this one, but I have to stay consistent with the last dial, his last dial. So word, the Bronx. I love New York, man. I love I mostly know people in Brooklyn, but my boy Boog's from the Bronx. I know a lot of a lot of just people in terms of hip hop. Whether it's graffiti artists or rap artists, but there's a lot of people from the Bronx that I absolutely respect. Let me see. All right, so that orange is looking pretty good. I'm actually gonna stand up because if I stand up, I get a better. There we go. That's a lot better for me. Hey, buddy. I've been wondering how you been doing. Good, angry. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, Chicago's dope. I love Chicago. Uh, Rap artists, Mexico figures would be dope. Like a Wu-Tang Clan. Come on, man. That'd be amazing. Like, I'd have Ghostface Killer with an extra pair of wallabies, that eagle bracelet that he has and shit, and like a removable Ghostface mask, and then underneath is his face with a do rag that you can kind of pull down. Yeah, and now you know what? A pair of wallabies and some Tims. Oh man. And yeah, no, that'd be dope. I'm honestly surprised. Especially because okay, in terms of imports, um, X Mansion. Yeah, I did. I saw that. I saw that mention. In terms of imports rather, I'm surprised like a company, SH Figure Arts or something like that hasn't done something with Wu Tang. I'm really surprised by that. So wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. I saw the X Mansion. It is amazing. My dial was at that show. I was very happy for that. All the dials that were there were dope, but that X Mansion was pretty impressive, man. That was huge. Yeah, the Biggie be dope. Uh, it's or the Biggie's dope. That Biggie that you're talking about, the Mesco Biggie, is that what you're talking about? But yeah, that dial was amazing, bro. That was an amazing, amazing dial. Um, yeah, man. That's. I wish I would have been there, man. I wish I would have been there if circumstances was different. But you know what? I'm there next year. Like, whoa, I have such a. I'm so excited about it. Like, to be able to um, help out ACBA and just kind of meet people. I'm excited. I actually have a cousin. I haven't my also my sister's my mom's sister. She married a Mexican cat, and they had a kid. So my cousin Javiolito is half Mexican, half Puerto Rican, which is a dope combination. But anyway, yeah, man, I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's a year away, man, but I'm still so amped up to get my plane ticket and to kind of get ready for that. All right, so as I'm looking, so you try to pitch the idea. I don't think it's a good. Come on. If they can make a fucking a Popeye figure, bro. Like Popeye's my generation. I'm 45. I'm gonna be 45 years old in October. Popeye's my generation. If they're making a Popeye figure and it's sold the way it did, you gotta make some rap type figure. Come on, man. That's not even a good. No, no. So, because I have the camera at a certain angle, I can see that underneath here. There's not much. So I'm just gonna add a little more. Let me see a little more up here. Underneath, fingerprint joint. Alright, let's come back with. Dang it. My fault. I was looking away. I saw the laugh emoji, but I don't know. I didn't read before that. My fault. Night. Alright, so we have some chestnuts roasting on an open fire type of paint. This brown is lighter than the other brown. Hello, KM2. And I'm just going to use it for a couple of accent spots is what I'll do. Man, I don't know about old, bro. I don't feel old at all. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really feel old. I feel, man, it's so hard to describe. Like, I don't feel 45, like, at all. But I think it's a mentality. I think a lot of people, they think getting old means you slow down, or I don't know, but I think even at my age, bro, I feel young at heart. I feel like let me just plug this because my phone's dying. Hopefully that helped right there. I feel like Nah, man, is that like this? I still have like 55 solid years to live, bro. Um, well, I should upload a lot. Thank you, KM. I appreciate it. Um, damn, 25 and you feel like you're 30. Yo, that sucks, dude. Like, are you a construction worker or some shit? Oh man. But yeah, so I'm using some of this paint. Yeah, man. So anyway, so I just I feel young. I don't feel old. I since I've had I don't even know how to even word this, but I've been more physical in certain areas of my life, um, and in the last 5 years than I was in the previous 15. So it's all relative, man. It's all how you feel. It's all how you kind of go about it. Yes, Bob. Exactly. Yeah, as old as you feel, man. I don't feel old, man. I mean, yes. Don't get me wrong. Some days, like, yo, I got a story to tell. So one day I get up and like my back is like kind of. I don't hit the gym, not anymore. My back is kind of hurting me a little bit and shit. So I'm like, yo. All of a sudden, it gets progressively worse throughout the week to the point where getting in the car is difficult. Like, it hurts. So, I yo, uh, it was I was hurt. I was hurt. Anyway, yo, I get up in the middle of the night one day to use the bathroom. I sneeze out of nowhere, and something popped back into my back. It hurt so fucking much. Yo, that shit was some of the worst pain. I've had kidney stones. That shit was some horrible pain. But yeah, man. Then I actually had not. It was not pretty early in the morning. I had to go to the car. I sat in the car, and that pain of just getting in the car was gone. It was crazy, and moments like that, I'm like, yo, I'm getting old. But I also injured my back going to trying to act like a teenager and going through a ninja. There was this like ninja course, go-kart type thing. Yeah, kidney stone sucks. So I was trying to be a fucking ninja and trying to dunk a basketball on a trampoline with my back already a little sore, and that was the problem. Even if I was young and I would have done that, I probably would have fucked up my back. Maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, man. So all right, let me see. I think I'm good with now what I'm gonna do. Yeah, those kidney stones suck, bro. Like, an ambulance had to come get me. As crazy as that sounds, but that was many. Yeah, I think my daughter wasn't even born, so that was more than 15 years ago. Uh what's a kidney stone is when you people think it's hard to explain, man. But basically, it's generally you shouldn't drink a lot of sugar, man. You should really stick to water. So like juices and sodas and shit that can create kidney stones. So that was my case was just juice. I'm not a huge soda drinker, but I love juices. Alright, so what I wanted to do is kind of get this brush so it's only kind of leaving rarely. What is your for painting rust? You know what? This is my technique, bro. I don't really have I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You guys over here, yeah, water's good. Thinking that I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, bro. I'm just trying to make it look good for the visual. So anyway, again, it's one of those situations where this will fall into the background, so it's not even something that has to be super detailed. But because I have you guys anyway, might as well make a little, put a little more work into it. So I'm gonna do is take some brown and I'm gonna put a little water into it. Uh, yeah, drink your water. Right, Silent Hill Rusty. So I'm just gonna take. Man, I had another brown. This one. Oh wait, this one's kind of leaky. Alright, brown. You talking to me now? Alright, so I just threw some brown in this little cup right next to the camera. It's off camera. Throw a little water into it. And so what I want to create is a very watery type brown, and I can then fill in some of those silver spots where you can kind of still see the silver, but it's now kind of murkier or murky. Let me see how this works. I'm like doing this on the fly, but yeah, man, I don't know, man. I guess I have techniques for certain things. I wonder how you make the walls peel like Silent Hill. Yeah, I still haven't learned. This is an alleyway. Yeah, I still haven't learned how to like necessarily peel. All right, that's not enough. how to that peeling technique. I Terraformer kills it with that, man. He kills it. I'm not great at it, but you know. So now what I'm doing is I'm kind of getting. I don't know if you can see it but I can see it with my eye. It's now kind of giving me this really murky. If I just go offline, guys, it's because my phone died. I thought I was charging it, but it's saying that this is not supported. Maybe because it's plugged into a lamp. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try to plug this into the wall. About the, oh, that was too fast. Maybe dry paint. I'm guessing. Maybe paint dry. Or like for this right now. Well, no. What I wanted to do before I get to the dry paint, what I wanted to do is give it more of like of a. I don't know if you can see that, where it's just kind of more of a just a murky type of I'm gonna come in with a dry brush, but it's gonna be more an orangey color. But I wanted this to be more of a let me see if you guys can see it here. Let's see. Whereas not as much raw, I guess not as much rust, more like just getting there. Yeah, I you know, I'm not great at painting. I mean, we're all just learning, man. About the 80 here's the Marvel. Oh man, they're dope. Still looking for that Captain America. Can't find the Captain America. Kind of getting heated about the whole thing. So you can see, there you go. You can see it on the cam. I sat down again. You can kind of see it. So I don't know if you kind of see what the effect that it's having, where you can still see the silver underneath, but yeah, I should be on Twitch. It keeps booting me off. Yesterday I was trying to do it, wasn't working. Oh, his finger broke, man. That sucks. Yeah, man, I want to do Twitch, but if for whatever reason it's just not working for me, man. My homeboy, from Florida, Block by Block TV, turned me on to it. I was mad interested, but it's just not working for me for whatever reason. But yeah, the 80th Marvel Legends figures are dope. I've actually been selling a lot of my older figures just to create space. I only have 2 detox, and I really don't want to go to 3. Who's a peg warmer? Captain America? Oh man, and better rate, dude. If somebody can give me a Captain America, I can PayPal you on Friday. Like, well, I shouldn't say that because, you know, I don't know the price. I'd have to know the full price. Louis, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Loose bricks to look that thinking of doing myself. How do you... Oh, man. It's the way I have this clipped on, I'm trying to read the questions and I'm not getting all of them. So if I miss it, my fault. You had asked something about the bricks. I think it was like, how do you make the bricks look loose? I believe that's what you were saying. Welcome, Brazil. All right, so looks like I got the effect that I want. Let me just get the other side too, because here we go. Yeah, so it's kind of, let me just show you what the brown kind of looks like. So it's kind of just really, you know, kind of watery type brown. So yeah, I can even go in really, I don't even have to really drain the brush too much, and it kind of gives me the look that I want. And then, you know, you got to let it dry after that. Before I can do any type of dry brush, I need to kind of make sure all this other paint here is dried up. Let me just get into those little corners and crevices. Anytime I hear I'm watching nature shows, somebody always says crevices, and I'm like, I thought it was crevices. But you know, everybody says shit differently. Alright, cool. So one of the things I don't worry about too much, but I always do a little bit of it, is anything that's really high, like this little pipe that you can't even see because it's off camera. But where, you know, it's not a yeah, you could do Twitch. You could do Twitch for art. No, it's not just gaming. That's what I thought. It's actually gaming and art. It literally says that in their description, which is kind of cool. Alright, so let's see here. It looks like I'm actually gonna take this camera off of this tripod here. All right, there we go. Cool. Let's put this wall back on, and we get an idea of what it looks like. Oh shit, just spilled a little bit of brown, but it's all good. It wasn't that much. I'm just gonna napkin. Always put the covers or the caps back on your paint, y'all, because of the accidents. Thank you very much. New purple Deadpool coming out. It's actually not a Deadpool. It's actually called something else. Everybody thinks it's a Deadpool. I read somewhere where it's part of some team or some shit. It's not officially called Deadpool. Look it up. Look it up. I'm pretty sure I read that yesterday. Let me cover this brown so I don't spill it again. Excuse me. And talk to you guys a little bit more. I've been on for 40 minutes, so I'm not going to stay on too much longer. But have you guys kind of get an idea of what we just did or what I just did now. So I got everything pointing. All right. So, man, it's not the best lip, but we'll go from there. So again, the idea was to, and if you can see, as I stood it back up, kind of that you can kind of see the wet, and I don't want it to look like it's dripping rust. So in that situation, you can come in and just kind of tap it with your fingers and make sure it doesn't look like it's an actual like water rust or whatever. So what I'm gonna do when I come in with the dry brush is do a lot of the edges once this kind of dries fully, and that should kind of take care of that. How it kind of just doesn't look at this, in my eyes anyway, it doesn't look like I painted enough of the corners, but I want those corners to be dry brush, so I have to come back and do that once this dries out a little bit. I'll have this dripping a little bit more. I may do more of a water technique to kind of literally let it drip. We'll see how that 24-hour stream, that'd be wild. And so one of the things I'm gonna work on once I get off of here is get these stairs looking rusty. I have to put this doorknob up on the door. Give this door, this is a metallic, it's still it's a metal door, metal frame there for the roll down door, and then just add a little rust. I'm gonna add the doorknob. I'm gonna put a kick plate here, and then I'm gonna put I don't even know what they're called. If my man SK5 was on, he would tell me right away. But it's the little piece that goes underneath the doors. It's like a metal piece that has lines that run across it, a couple lines. Gotta work that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some handles on these stairs. So what I'm gonna do is take 2 pieces of straw, put a piece of straw there, a piece of straw there, put something in the bottom so nothing goes through, and then I'm gonna create this little kind of handrail that just slips, that falls right into the straws, so we can move it, take it off. So because I don't want to make it not a door stopper. No, not a door stopper. It's a little metal thing that just goes in the bottom of usually it separates rooms. Like if you're in a house and you have hardwood floors, there's a little piece of wood between rooms, and when the door closes. So I don't think it's called a door stopper, but anyway, so I'll put the handrails can just kind of dip right into the straws, so that should be easy to create, and it'll be good because I can when you mail it, it won't, there's no risk of it breaking. These stairs are just basically wood, as you can see. The sides are foam, so you can see the bottom, it's foam. And then what I did is I reinforced this leg and this leg with a little piece of skinny wood, because if not, it'd snap off. I didn't reinforce this back leg because this back piece reinforces it. So again, just a 1 piece of foam, one piece, and then 2 pieces of balsa wood to make the stairs. I still have to put the rust effect on it. I still have to put the handrails, and that'll be good to go. One of the things I need to do is a little more debris here on the floor. So right now it's really flat. There's nothing that's kind of giving it any type of feel that it's a dirty alleyway type of a floor. So I have to create some debris, and then graffiti and some signage. My signage usually starts looking like something like this, and then I cut it. I'm not using any of these, but it looks like this. I put it on aluminum tape, and then I cut it out, and then I pick a position on the wall to stick that. But yeah, so this is for almost 45 minutes. Yeah, I think 45 minutes is cool for this. May be my first live. I mean, I might have done another live at some point, but yeah, man, just working on my art, trying to figure shit out in my life, and just progress forward. Today was my daughter's first day of school. She's a sophomore in high school, And shout outs to her. She had a great first day. And yeah, man, this is where we're at. So I'm happy where we're at with this. And I'm really, oh, and I'm actually gonna also put some bollards here as well. So I gotta paint these, put kind of that cement feel at the top, because if there was gonna be a truck, or trucks are coming in and out, or vehicles or whatever it is, you don't want them to cross the stairs. So I'm gonna put one there, and I think I'm gonna put just one here. What I may do is, because I did, these ballers aren't part of what I told them I was gonna create. So I may put one, well, not there because that doesn't protect shit, but like there or some shit. So if a truck or a vehicle kind of missed a little bit, it hits that piece instead of the framing. Same thing here. They won't run into the stairs, especially because it's a blind spot, reversing into this type of situation. Yeah, basically that's what it is. It's that Deadpool just painted in pink and so forth. I mean, I've never gotten one of those figures for that Marvel comic book online thing. I don't read comics anymore, unfortunately. I shouldn't say that. Once in a while I'll buy an issue, but for the most part I don't. Alright, y'all, sorry for the shaky camera. Sorry for not answering questions for like 20 minutes because of the way my phone was kind of set up. So my apologies for that, guys. If it's anything real pertinent, I'll definitely go back. I believe I can go back and answer that. And yeah, man, I'm done. Have a good night, y'all.